Hello everybody and welcome to the last podcast episode for this year. Today we have December the 28th and I want to make a normal podcast episode with my finished objects, my works in progress, what I have received for Christmas, yarn related or let's say knitting related, but it's only yarns and patterns. And at the end of this episode it's a little bit blathering and a review of 2020 knitting wise, a little bit also private life, because spoiler alarm, for me 2020 wasn't that bad. It was a challenging year, but it wasn't so bad for me as for other people, and so maybe you wanna stay around here and listen to me talking about how my year 2020 was and what I have done. And at the end I want to show you my top 9 of Instagram, because that is a lovely review. Many exciting things happened this year and you can see this in my top 9. And I want to talk about Knitalongs and my Make 9. Yes, I did it. I did it again. I did a Make 9 grid. Most of the things I want to make in the coming year are socks and gifts. But more about that at the end of this episode. So let's start. In the description box below you can find everything I talk about, or where you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram and so on, and Ko-fi if you want to support this channel. Okay, I have a finished object for you. I have posted it yesterday on Instagram because I was so happy about it. I have finished my second pair of Christmas socks this year, and here they are. Wait, and as you can maybe see, one toe is longer than the other, so not the actual size of the toe, but hey, that's weird. But the color part. Here it looks perfect, right? And now wait. What? I don't know how this works because this is right. And this is so wrong. But you know what? I don't care. On the toe, I try to make all the time the same. So I attach the new yarn. I decrease in the next round, then I knit 2 rounds, then I decrease, then I knit 2 rounds, then I decrease, and then I decrease every second round, but I never remember how many stitches so when I start to decrease in every round, so how many stitches I have to have left to start to decrease in every round. I always make it up. I don't know. So it can be, so the toes can be a little bit off, but I really don't care because they fit very well, these socks. I have knit a very long leg and I like it, and a long cuff. As you can see, the cuff is quite long, and I like to fold it down when I wear it because it's cozy. And then it looks like this. And someone called it the Dutch heel. That is interesting that it has this name. It is a slip stitch heel, as you can see. So you slip a stitch, you knit a stitch, you slip, you knit, you slip, you knit. And on the back side you only purl. Yeah, because it's pretty. I only did it because it's pretty. Some people say it's like a reinforced heel, so you will see. I never get holes in my heel. When my socks they don't get holes, but when they get airy, it's always here. I don't know why. So for me, it's not important to reinforce this part. It's just prettier. And it's easier to remember than the Eye of Partridge heel. Yeah, so my finished object. And it was fun to knit the Christmas socks during the Christmas season. So I started them December 15th and I finished them December 27th. So that is for me very, very quick. Yeah. And I had already a Christmas pear. I knit in August. I started last year before Christmas and I finished in August. And I am knitting another Christmas pear right now. So that is awesome. I have many Christmas yarns and so I should knit through them. And the best time to knit through Christmas yarn is through the Christmas season. And Christmas is not over yet. This year, so the coming year, Christmas is until January the 10th. So it's always until the church Christmas, you know, not the modern world Christmas that ends on the 27th or so. The church celebrates Christmas always until the baptism of Christ. And I think it is always the Sunday after Epiphany, I think. So it is a movable feast. It's never the same. One year it was December 13th or so, January the 13th. So in this year, so this Christmas season is until January the 10th. And my Christmas tree will be up until the Epiphany day. So the day after Epiphany, I think I will put it away. We will see. We will see. Yeah, so finished object. That is my only finished object for this episode. Now we come to my whip. This is also a Christmas yarn in my opinion. It is not called officially Christmas yarn or so, but for me it looks like winter and fairy lights. And I'm knitting a pattern. It is called Country Roads by Nordic Stitches. She has a sale, I think, until the end of December. If you want to check her patterns out. She has many sock patterns, so I don't know how good you can see this. How well? Yes, you can see it. It's a cable, simply a cable. This is the left sock, so it will look like this. And the right sock will have the cable here. Yeah. I'm doing a contrasting heel, again a Dutch heel as you told me, or a slip stitch heel. And the toe will be white too. I have cast on 60 stitches instead of 64 because it is opal yarn. It is from my opal subscription. And I have experienced that opal tends to get slouchy while you wear it. So I will see if it's better to knit 60 stitches. It will fit, but it will stretch out a little bit. So we will see how this looks. If I don't like it, I will go back to 64 stitches and live with it that it gets slouchy. Yeah. I am very close to starting the toe. We will see if I will be able to do it today. It's funny how it looks here, like clouds in a Super Mario game or so. You know what I mean? Because today we will, Tommy and I will go for a big walk with friends, with all of his friends, because it is the only way to see them and keeping the social distance. So we will be outside, keep very much distance and go through the woods together, and I will take Benny with us. That will be very fun, very much fun. And when we return, Tommy and I want to play a board game, not like a board, but it's a game. I guess we will play the exit game I have gifted him on Christmas. Yesterday we played another exit game, only with cards. There was very many numbers. You know, I like different riddles. Sometimes something to, like a code, to find a code, or with letters, or with objects like triangles, circles, squares and so on, or with pictures or names or something. But this exit game was filled with numbers. But we did it. It wasn't easy and we needed more time, but yeah. So I don't know if I will be able to start the toe today. Yeah, pretty. I can already tell you what my next cast on will be, because there is a rivalry group for people with the Opal subscription, and they do at the big, so in the first month of the quarter of the subscription, so in this case in December, we received our package with all the yarns. They always start something that is called Musterschlacht, and that is in English pattern war, I would say. So they take 3 of the 6 balls, put a photo into the thread, and we have to decide which ball we want to knit. So we vote, and then a few days later, when the result is there, we can announce which pattern we want to knit. So we have all to use this one ball of yarn, and this time it's this year. It's my least favorite, to be honest. So maybe it's good to have a knit along. And you have to announce your pattern, and your pattern, you can only choose a pattern that, now English grammar, that hasn't been chosen before. So every pattern is only allowed once. And I have decided to knit the Weasley Homestead socks because it's only knit and purl stitches. And we all have to start on January 1st, not earlier. So that is the next sock I will cast on. Socks will be a big topic at the end of this episode. Now we come to what I have received knitting and yarn related on Christmas. And it is a lot. Okay, I have waited until Christmas Eve to open the 3 packages I have received from Amy from Noble Character Crafts. We swapped this year advent calendars. And so I asked for sock yarn by Peyton's Croy, and she asked for Christmas sock yarn, and we swapped this in addition to the advent calendar. So I knew I was receiving Peyton's Croy, but I didn't know all the colorways. And so I waited for Christmas Eve to open the packages. And the first one was the thing I asked for because I really like this colorway and I see it all the time. It's the blue striped rack. And I'm looking forward to knit these because I really love this colorway. Then another very stunning colorway she has picked for me is this here. What I like about Peyton's Croy is this part here. This gray. Here I think it's called mold effect. Here I have it all over the skein. Here it's only the gray. Very pretty, and my favorite color, blue. And this colorway is also very pretty. So, Amy, your taste is very good and you know me very well. So, then I have received... Oh, I have forgotten to write a note. I will do this now, Kathleen. I'm sorry, I always wanted to write a note to you. I have received a Christmas present from Kathleen. She ordered it in Nora George's yarn shop. I received a candle, stitch markers, and this lovely sock yarn set. It is called Love at Frostside Festive Box 2020. This is so pretty. But I don't think that I will knit socks out of that. It is too pretty for socks. I don't know. I still have to decide whether to make a hat or socks. Then I have received from Amy in the 25th door, so to say, a yarn she has dyed. She says it's a one-of-a-kind colorway for Anna. Base fingering weight, 75 superwash merino, 25 nylon. And she has dyed this for me, and it couldn't be more perfect. because it has naturals, brown and blues. It's amazing. And this lovely blue Progress Keeper or Stitch Marker. In the 24th door from Lily of Norway, I have received a giant magic knot skein of many different lovely minis. Look at this. I haven't weighed it, but it's more than 100 grams, I'm pretty sure. This is so lovely. I love it. And it's so squishy. It's very soft. And here you can see she did magic knot. So I can crochet away or knit away with it. Very pretty. And from our aunt in Great Britain, I have received, in addition to other lovely things, blue yarn, and it is called, so it's pure new wool, and it is called, wait, I really don't know how to pronounce it. Maybe you know this. And in blue, so perfect. And in addition to that, she added, very smart, Melly, very smart of you, she added different patterns which are written for this specific yarn. I think I will make this. Yeah, and here you see the business card. They are on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. So if you want to find them online. And last but not least, I have received from Karina in her Christmas package, because I received something for every Sunday of Advent and for Christmas Eve. She has made this bag. If you hear Benny, he is seeing something outside and barks. And she has added the perfect yarn. I have never seen a stellina in another color than gold or silver. It is blue. Here you see how it knits up. And it is so pretty. It's called Superba Las Vegas. It is amazing. I want to cast this on. Maybe parallelly to this one. This is so pretty. I mean, it is all over blue and blue stellina. It's amazing and it's so soft. Yeah, and a very, very pretty bag, as always. It's my third bag in this style she made me. Okay, that is what I have received this year. So I am a very lucky girl. Now we come to Knitalongs, I would say. I am participating in the Make 9 2021 MAL. So M-A-L, because you can sew, crochet, knit, weave, whatever. This Knitalong, MakeAlong is hosted by Amy from the Noble Character Crafts podcast. If you haven't watched her, you should stop this podcast and hop over to her, because she is amazing. She is very talented. She is a very calm and true person. She has a very noble character. And she is a mother of 5 children. That is always something I find lovely. I love big families. I'm coming from a big family, and I like that. And she is knitting very much for her family and for charity, and she has very lovely projects. So she's not only knitting socks but also pullovers and complicated color work, and she's making so many lovely blankets and scrappy blankets. Yeah, and she is hosting the Make 9 2021 Mal, and I have already posted my grid. So you what you have to do for that is you have to make a grid of 9 pictures you want to knit or make in the new year. You know the Make 9, I guess. And then post it with the hashtag Make 9 2021 Mal. And yeah, and then you can post throughout the year your progress or your finished objects. She always says you don't have to finish your grid or your projects to be able to win a prize or to participate. Yeah, that is the thing I want to participate in, and I want to host a knit-along. I want to host a year-long knit-along only for socks, because I want to knit more socks. I love knitting socks. I love gifting socks. I have so much sock yarn. I want to knit socks, and I have the Opal subscription with sock yarn. I receive it 4 times a year, 6 balls of yarn. That is a lot. So yeah, let us knit socks together. There are no rules besides knit socks and post them in the thread in Ravelry. You can enter whips, you can cheddar there, you can use stash yarn, you can use new yarn. There isn't really a rule. Yeah, that is that. Yeah, I'm looking for a fancy name. Maybe you can help me. How can we call this knit-along? I have called the thread now Socks for 2021. Maybe you come up with a fancy name so we can use it as a hashtag on Instagram too, if you are not on Ravelry. Write it in the comments down below, please. Yeah, these are the knit-alongs. I want to participate in more knit-alongs this year. Hopefully I can make it, but at least my own and the Make 9 from Amy. Now we come to a very short review of the year. On the screen now you can see my top 9 of Instagram, and I will open them on my phone now so I can see them too. Okay, I have deleted all the numbers of the likes because that is not important, but these are the 9 pictures that received the most likes in this year. And let me check the battery. Okay. Okay, the first one you see is actually the one with the most likes. This was in April when Tommy was allowed to visit me again in Austria. Because the borders were closed for 6 weeks, we weren't allowed to see us for 6 weeks. It doesn't sound like much, but when you don't know how long it takes, you never knew when the borders were open and will open, 6 weeks can be very long. So that was the toughest time in this year, that I was alone, completely alone in my flat. I wasn't able to see him. I only was allowed to see one person. That was my best friend. And that was the toughest thing about the lockdown. The rest I didn't care about. I wasn't anxious. I didn't miss shopping malls or the hairdresser or something. I didn't really, yeah, it wasn't a bad thing, but yeah. So that was the first picture. The picture next to it is the Weasley pullover I have gifted Tommy this year for Christmas. That was a big achievement for me because I have never knit a garment for another person. Then there is his family, and we are at his grandma's house for Christmas. The next picture is the temperature blanket I have knit last year, but I finished it this year. I crocheted. So that is the temperature in Austria, where I lived, of 2019. Finished it in 2020, as always. Then there is my Christmas tree. This is very important to me because it was the first Christmas with the Tommy in our flat with a real big tree. Then another picture of Tommy and me in Gera. That is a city near to us. Then Tommy and I in Markleberg. I think it's the Kosbudener See. Yeah, it's a very pretty lake. They have 3 pretty lakes there where he lived before, and that was, I guess, during the summer. Oh, then next to the next to the lake, the picture. So next to the picture of the lake, that was the first time when I was allowed visiting Tommy, because the Germans were allowed to visit Austria, but Austrians weren't allowed to visit Germany at the same time. So, yeah, that was, I think, 2 weeks later or so, on a longer weekend. That was very exciting. And the last picture where I wear the sunglasses is our move. So, my move from Austria to Germany after living in Austria for 11 years. Yes, 11 years. So, as you can see, my year of 2020 wasn't that bad. It was challenging in some points, but in general, I'm very thankful for this year, because the main thing that happened was Tommy and I were moving together, and that means we can see us every single day. And I found a new job. I'm working for a pregnancy help center, and I can work from home without Corona, so without COVID. It was planned in the beginning and without pandemic that it is a home office job. So I can see my boyfriend every single day. I can work for a pregnancy help center. That is a job that is so meaningful for me, and it is such an important thing to do. And I am so happy. My colleagues and my boss, they are all so nice. Everything is better now. Everything is better. I don't have a long distance relationship anymore. We have a lovely flat, so much prettier and more lovely and so awesome, so much better than I had in Austria. I am so grateful. So many awesome things happened in 2020 for me, and the lockdowns weren't so hard for me because I lived like that before already. I'm a calm person, I'm an introvert, I'm an HSP, so I'm used to be home, reading, knitting, watching TV. Yeah, seeing only 1 or 2 people at the same time. I have the family nearby. As I told you, I'm a lucky girl, so 2020 for me was one of the best years I have ever experienced, because there have been very bad years in the past for me, and maybe they were great for other people. So I'm very grateful that this year of the pandemic that could have been so dramatic for me was such a good year. So yeah, I'm very thankful. Yeah, I am very, very thankful. I wasn't ill. I was able to work from home. I was getting paid during they closed the schools. I know that there are people unlucky, lost their job or lost much money or got infected and so on. So I know that it was a very difficult year for many people. But when I have to speak for myself, it was one of the best years I have ever experienced. I am so, so thankful. And I repeat myself, but the most special thing, the best thing that happened this year was Tommy and I moving together and moving back to Germany, back to my roots, where I come from. I don't come from Eastern Germany, but Germany is Germany. Yeah. Okay, and now we come to the knitting review. I have knit, and I insert a video here of all the gift knits. Of all the gift knits this year. I have knit 6 pairs of socks. 4 of them were gifts. 3 pairs of baby socks. 24 advent calendar socks. 5 simple house slippers, so 5 pairs. 2 baby pullovers. 1 pullover for Tommy. 1 pullover for me. 1 temperature blanket. And 1 baby bonnet. So let me count. 6, 9, 10, 34, 39, 41, if I count correctly, 44 finished objects. That is crazy. Really? 44? That can't be true. Yeah, if I count all the advent calendar socks, then I have knit 44 things. And I have crocheted makeup removers. I didn't count them in, and I have crocheted or knit 1 or 2 towels, but I don't count them in because I haven't made a project page for that now. But yeah, it's the main things I have added here. Yeah, that was the review of my knitting year. And I have already planned out my gift knitting with the Make 9 Mile by Amy. So for the Make 9 Make-Along. Because the first lockdown in spring was so good for gift knitting. It was so good. That was the time I was knitting the most. And that made it possible to be very relaxed during Advent. I only knit the pullover for Tommy, and I knit this, so I started it on November 6th, I think, and finished it on December 21st. I'm not so quick, or not a fast knitter. So I was able to concentrate on that and my own knitting, and I wasn't stressed at all, and everyone has received a handmade item from me, and I think that is a lovely thing, and I want to do it next year again. So I will start in January to knit Christmas gifts and St. Nicholas gifts and birthday gifts. So I can recommend you to do the same, so you are not stressed. But if you were knitting the last 2 or 3 months already only gifts, you need a pause, a break. You need to knit for yourself, as I do now, socks for myself, and then you are, I think, refreshed, and you can knit for other people if you want to. Okay, I'm wishing you a lovely rest of 2020. I'm wishing you that 2021 will be much better than 2020, even if your 2020 was as good as mine. And yeah, don't set too high goals for yourself. You are lovely and good as you are now, and you can change your habits every day. You don't have to wait for a calendar sheet to flip over. You can, if you start on January 1st and you fall on the 3rd day of January, you can start at the same day again. You can start over all the time. So that is a thing we Christians know very well, because we are not perfect and we don't have to set too high goals. Set small goals, go tiny steps into the right direction, and that will help you to achieve at least one goal in the new year, if you like to. I don't take resolutions or adopt resolutions, or how you say that, because I don't believe in that. If I find something I want to change, I start. I start in March or in December or in January or in June. I don't care when I start. So don't put too much pressure onto yourself. Take your time, do what you love, do what makes you happy. Enjoy the last days of this year and stay safe, and come into the new year relaxed, healthy, safe and happy. Bye bye.